welcome back to Box of Delights. Today we're looking at a game called Dragonwood. This is a family game, so grown-ups and kids of all ages can enjoy playing this one together. It does say A+, and yeah, this is a little bit more complicated, and I think it's probably a good gateway into more complex hobby gaming for you and your kids. It's primarily a card game, but it does have some dice too, and these are custom dice. They only have 1 to 4 on them. So we've got a 1 and a 4, 2 2s, 2 3s. Alright, and we're going to be using these in a kind of push your luck kind of fashion. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to play the game and intermingle some actual live gameplay so you can see how this one works. We're adventurers in a fantasy setting. We're going to be exploring the Dragonwood. This is our Dragonwood deck, and this represents the different things that we can discover and the different types of skills needed to defeat these encounters. So they're all nice and cartoony and nothing too scary in here. No scantily clad maidens. Okay, so nice family friendly fantasy theme. I really enjoy it. I like it. I mean, look at this cute little bunny. And to defeat these encounters, you can either strike them with your sword, you can stomp on them with your big old boots, or you can scream really loud and scare them away. So really put some gusto into this and have some fun with the theme. Striking, stomping, or screaming. We're going to use the dice to beat these values. So for example, for the Angry Ogre, which needs a strike of 12, we're going to roll dice, and we need to roll 12 or more to successfully strike the ogre. Stomp will need 9 or more, scream 14 or more. And there's a mixture of dice here, and you could be making an attack with up to anything from 1 to 6 dice. Okay? So if you can get more dice, you stand a better chance of defeating the ogre. So how do you get to roll dice? Well, this is where we use these cards, and this is going to be all about pattern matching. Alright, each card has a colour and it has a number, and there's going to be a hand of cards that you have, and you're going to be looking to do different things. If you've got 3 of one colour, then you've got 3 dice to do a scream. Okay, if you get 2 or more of the same number, you got 2 9s, that's 2 dice. If you manage to get 3 9s, then that'll be 3 dice. Okay, all the way up to 6. So you can keep adding this. 4 9s will give you 4 dice, and that allows you to do a stomp. Okay. If you have a sequence of numbers like 4 5 6, let's say, they don't have to be the same colour. They don't have to be the same number. Then that allows you to do a strike. Now these sequences, they don't have to be, there's no minimum, so I could play a sequence of just 2, 4, 5 for 2 dice. I can even play just a sequence of 1, a 6 on its own for 1 dice. But of course this is also a sequence of cards of the same colour, so 2 reds would give you 2 dice, a sequence of just 1 red, 1 dice, or even a sequence of numbers the same, so 2 6s will give you 2 dice, 3 6s 3 dice, 4 6s 4 dice. Alright, but you could just say 1 6 1 die. So with 1 card you can always just roll 1 die. That's the point. Okay, nice and simple. So remember, a sequence to strike, same numbers to stomp, same colours to scream. Strike. 3 7 8 9. Yes, I win it. 2 points to any stop. Fire ants.
Ooh, I'm going to go for the next.
Now, depending on what ages you'll play with, you'll probably find that they'll want to scream a lot because colours are easier to spot, right? So cards of all the same colour cards of the same number is probably the next most easy one for younger players. Sequences might be harder for them to find. +2 for that, +2 for next ball.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And that's it, you've got the basics of the game. There is a lucky ladybird in here. If you manage to draw him, then you get to draw an extra 2 cards. If you play this lucky ladybird, it turns it into 2 cards. Right, we've got a deck here that we're going to be drawing on and filling our hands from. But as we explore the woods, there's not just things to defeat. Alright, we've got the green ones, these are enemies. And these enemies, when we defeat them, you can see these numbers in shields. These are giving you victory points. Alright, so the winner at the end of the game is the one who has the most victory points, and the game will end once we get through the deck, once we've explored the whole of the Dragonwood. You can finish the encounter earlier. Within the woods there's 2 dragons. There's a blue dragon and an orange dragon. Whoever defeats the second dragon will end the game. So get through the whole of the Dragonwood or defeat the 2 dragons, whichever comes soonest. But you'll also encounter some enhancements. These are things that you can defeat in the same way. So here we've got a lucky mushroom and a magical unicorn. If you defeat these, they don't give you victory points, but they give you a special ability, and this goes to your player area. And this is how you kind of win, really, by building up these enhancements so that you can defeat more stuff more quickly. So this one adds 1 point to all capture attempts. Okay, so what that means is if I had this in my player area and I'm trying to defeat the orange dragon with a stomp, instead of needing 11, I'll only need 10. Okay. The lucky mushroom says re-roll 1 die and capture attempts. So if I get unlucky and roll a 2 and a 1, and I was looking for a 5, I get to roll this one again, and now I've got my 5. And then finally we have events. So if you draw one of these, a thunderstorm is encountered as you're exploring the wood. Different events will do different things. So we've got a thunderstorm, a sunny day, giving people extra cards, quicksand here, remove all enhancements from the landscape. So these things kind of add a little bit of excitement to the adventure. 4, 5, 6. You got it?
Oh, yeah!
But you can't use these to capture those little monsters.
We use only once at any adventure.
Uh-oh. Remove all enhancements in the landscape. Replace with new cards. There aren't any, are there? When you're setting up the Dragonwood, first find these 2 dragons. Right? Then we're going to shuffle everything together, and you can remove a certain number of cards. Okay, so if you're playing with more players, you might want more cards in the deck. So if you're playing with 2 players, it suggests removing 12 cards from here to give you a shorter deck. Alright, it's up to you. If you want to make a shorter or longer game, you can change the card count. And then once you've done that, shuffle the 2 dragons into roughly half the deck. That'll be the bottom deck. So we know we're not going to find the dragons until we're at least halfway through the wood. Okay. The wood then looks like this. We have 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the start of the game, just shuffle any event cards back into the deck and redraw. And that becomes the wood. That's the wood in front of the players. That's where they can adventure. Each player starts with 5 cards, so we take the adventure deck and deal 5 adventurer cards each. And then we begin. So on your turn, you can choose to do one or 2 things. You can strike, stomp and scream by playing out some patterns from your hand, or you can reload. So you shout reload, let everyone know what you're doing. You draw a card from the adventurer deck. If you draw a lucky ladybird, that's good. You get to discard it, create a discard pile, and draw 2 cards immediately. Alright, ready for your next turn. If you want to try and capture a card from the Dragonwood, then you're going to be looking for these sequences of 1, 2, 3 or more cards from your hand. So if I wanted to go for the crazy bats, for example, it's quite easy. You've got to say which card you're going to go for. So you can't just start playing cards and then decide. Say which card you're going to go for and then announce whether you're going to strike, stomp or scream, and then play the relevant cards from your hand. So if I wanted to scream, I can play 2 purple ones and I roll 2 dice and I'm looking for 3 or more. Or maybe I want to try a stomp, play 2 4s, roll the dice, I'm looking for a 3 or more. Or maybe I want to try a strike and I'll play 7, 8, 9 and I'm looking for a 4 or more. So typically you're going to try and go for the lowest value if you can. But early game, you're probably going to want to look for one of these enhancements like the bucket of spinach here, which gives me 2 points to any stomp. Or the charm potion, which is a one-time use card as any adventurer card. I'm going to go for the bucket of spinach, I think. It's quite hard to get, but for a 7, 8, 9 sequence, I get to roll 3 dice and I'm looking for a 7 or more. You see? I roll the dice, I've got my 7 or more. The cards I used get discarded, and then bucket of spinach goes to my player area. I've got my hand ready for next turn, and we refill the Dragonwood and the turn passes to the next player. Now from now on, any stomp, alright, this isn't one-time use, this is for the rest of the game, gets +2 added. Pretty neat, huh? It's a nice neat little game, easy to play. Try and get those high victory points if you wish. I mean, look at this wild boar. I'm not surprised he's wild. Who dressed him like that? Well, there's lots of good stuff in here. A giggling goblin, spooky spiders, a grumpy troll, look, or a fierce jaguar. Even the most fearsome of creatures aren't that scary for you.
Can I get this one? I have baby and got spooky spiders.
Reload. Reload. Of course, as you play cards, your hand is going to get smaller and smaller, so you're just going to keep shouting reload, reload on your turn until you get enough that you want to push. But remember, you only need 1 card to play, so even if you've got 1 card, you can still roll the dice. It just means you're only going to roll 1 die, right? There is a hand limit of 9 cards as well, so as you load up and get those lucky ladybugs, you will be wanting to play cards out to make sure that you're maximising your hand. The game also comes with 2 handy turn summaries. There's one for the turn summary, and then on the reverse reminds you what you need to do to strike, stomp and scream. We've really enjoyed Dragonwood. It's a good game that feels like a hobby game, but it's really simple for young ones to play and play quickly, and everyone can have a lot of laughs and a lot of fun. Thank you to Cold Spring Games who are distributing this one and gave me this copy to show you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
I might get to that next 4.
4 plus 2 is
7, 8. I got it! Yeah!
okay. Let's count up our points. You're the winner today.
For my first game, I won. And I got the dragon for my first game.
Yeah, you got both dragons.
In my first game.
Versus 32.
Wait, what?
To you. 28.